I got this thing driving in about 3 hours. I drove it for 7 miles. That's how far it took me to get to my house, the DMV, to get it California registered back to my house. And I ripped out that L20 and I put in a dual cam KA.
After 7 miles?
7 miles.
Wow.
Perfectly good engine.
Alrighty, welcome back to Automotive Anatomy. I'm here today with Mr. Fred.
What's up, guys?
I met him at a Datsun meet a couple weeks back, and he was kind enough to finally make time for me. I know I lagged the last time, so.
Cool. This is my 1977 Datsun 620 King Cab.
King Cab, okay.
Key is that King Cab.
Okay, does it even have space in the back?
Oh, 11.3 cubic feet of space, bro. Yeah, no, you can't be 6 feet tall and not have a King Cab.
Okay.
You know, unless you cut your knees off. So, but yeah, no, the King Cab was key to picking this thing up. So the whole story behind this is I wanted a project, I wanted a truck, and I wanted to get a Toyota truck because it has these little hooks on it. And out of nowhere, I saw George's truck, actually, the carbon fiber wrap truck on Instagram. And I was like, what the fuck is this? So started looking into it, and I found the 620s. I went on to Ratsun, and I really appreciate Ratsun a lot. It made me meet a lot of my friends and learn a lot of information on there. So on Ratsun, I found this guy who had this truck up for sale in Portland, Oregon. We saw 3 pictures of it, and I emailed the guy. I'm like, dude,
that's enough.
I want that shit. Send it.
I'm assuming they didn't look like this though.
No, it was bone stock. It was that light blue color. Everything was completely original, and
which that's what you wanted though, right?
yeah, I wanted something untouched, something virgin, and so I paid the dude $600 for diesel to trailer it down to California for me.
No way.
Yeah, and the guy was super nice because he has family down here. So I'm like, dude, I'll pay for your diesel. You can spend some time with the grandparents, and I get to have my truck.
Right.
So the guy was cool enough, and he did that for me. And he delivered it at midnight.
Not sketchy at all, right?
No, not at all. But by 3 a.m., I put a new clutch slave.
That same night?
That same night.
Wow.
3 a.m. I put a new slave in it, fucked with the carburetor a little bit, and I drove it around the block for the first time in I think like 10 years that this thing moved. So yeah, once I got it, it was downhill
game
from there.
Yeah.
Front to back, I have Bmw E30 headlights, so they're
What?
projectors with HIDs. Yeah, so you could actually see at night. The
Dang.
lower lip is from a guy in Thailand, so it's
Okay.
legit metal.
Metal, right?
Yeah,
Right.
just like George's. Wheels are Epsilons, 3-piece wheels, 15 by 8, 0 offset. These were pretty fun to find through Japan.
How long did it take you to
I was
sort?
actually looking for the Watanabe style.
Oh, okay.
And I actually picked them up from this guy, but they didn't clear the big brakes because I do have the hard body disc brake conversion, and the way that wheel is set up, the inner barrel touches the brake caliper. So I had
That was a bummer.
Yeah, my heart was broken. So I ended up getting the Epsilons, and you know they look good.
You rebuild them, right?
No,
Like that?
I got them exactly how you see them. All I did was put a little bit of mother's polish on it, and we're good to go.
So it's a square setup, same specs in the back?
Yeah, front and rear.
Okay.
The exhaust from the manifold all the way to the tip, I actually did all the cutting, welding, and bending myself.
Yourself?
Yeah. So
Wow.
I'm pretty proud of that.
What kind of mirror is that?
Mirror, that's actually probably one of the cheapest parts on the whole car. That's off of Summit Racing.
Okay.
It's called the Peak Mirror. Everybody looks for it. but I guess nobody looks at Google because they're a dime a dozen. You have to modify it a little bit to get it to fit, but I could see everything around me. Going to the back end, my painter actually welded in the rear roll pan. So where the tail lights are, that middle piece doesn't normally exist on Datsuns.
Oh, okay.
So it makes it smoother, cleaner.
Gotcha.
Handcuffs are, because it's sexy, really.
Little details that make it your own.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's nice hearing it scrape when you're pulling into driveways. This toolbox is actually trick, because that's where I keep my battery.
What?
Yeah.
You show us that.
So every time I park this thing out in like a regular parking lot, I always come back to the handle pointed up, because somebody try to come up on a toolbox. But that ain't gonna happen. Suckers bolted down.
Look at that.
Yeah, I need a little bit of extra room in the engine bay, so decided to relocate it. Had a nice toolbox laying around. Side, big shout out to Skillard. He made the door cards and the laser engraved kick panels. That's those seats are actually from a 06 Mazda 3.
Look at you, driving a Mazda.
Yeah, this thing has parts off of everything, man. Kits are actually off of the Mazda itself. I just had to use a hammer and a good drill bit to get them to fit. But NRG hub, old school slim quick release. That's a
So clean.
original tack as well. Those are pretty rare.
How many miles did you get it with?
I got it with 60,000 miles. There's 68,000 on it now, I believe. So I actually
60,000 miles OG engine before, and now
who knows if it rolled over?
Right.
But it doesn't seem like it. The body was pretty straight. But I do drive this almost every day. A fire extinguisher in there, just because I don't want to turn out like Wyatt. Wyatt is another Datsun truck guy whose truck caught on fire.
Holy shit.
But he's rebuilding it now. So.
Alrighty, so going to the engine compartment, you said you have a KA, right?
Yeah, this is a dual cam KA. This entire truck was built in my driveway, and no shops needed. So I kind of figured it all out on my own. So engine, transmission out of a 93 240, radiators out of a 240, the full wiring harness and ECUs out of the 240.
This is not your first swap though, is it?
This is actually my first swap.
Really? So
Yeah.
A lot of time on the forums and
A
headaches?
lot of time on the forums, a lot of time for help from Datsun friends, a lot of people from Ratsun, and big shout out to everybody in Ratsun. I wouldn't be able to do any of this without them.
So what was the major fabrication? Anything with the engine mounts?
Luckily, Red Eye has this badass kit for the engine mounts, and it makes the swap so much easier. Also, the Can-Am box that makes wiring a breeze, but a little bit of hammering, a sawzall, a welder, you could do anything.
So why no turbo?
Because broke.
Because broke?
Yeah, because sponsor me.
Sponsor me. That's the reality for everybody.
Yeah, the valve cover, me and my cousin, we hand painted it.
Oh, same paint, nice.
Yeah, it's all actual spray paint, which took forever, but it came up pretty dope.
Nice, man.
It's just like every project car, it's never done.
It will never be done.
It'll
Huh?
never
What
be
else
done.
do you have in plan for the engine compartment?
Turbo,
Okay.
for sure. If not, LS swap, because LS the world.
Don't do that.
You can't complain with a lot of power and
The power and the money for it, yeah.